All right, get out of here.
Once dismissed from fire drill, the recruits head directly to equipment issue.
Oh, equipment issue.
We create situations like equipment issue, so recruits learn early that accountability starts long before they respond to a call. When someone calls 911, they expect the responding trooper to be fully prepared. If your equipment isn't where it should be, or you haven't taken responsibility for it, you're already behind before the situation even begins. These standards aren't random or arbitrary. It's all about making them the best troopers we can.
He's not interesting?
Yeah, equipment issue was definitely an experience, right? It's what everyone talks about. So all the troopers that I've, gained relationships with throughout my hiring process, that's what they tell me about, right? It's equipment issue. So I went into it pretty nervous. At one point, they told me to take my lanyard and my whistle and attach the whistle onto the lanyard. And so the little metal ring, I couldn't get separated, and I couldn't put the little circle that was on the whistle through it. And the instructors caught onto that almost immediately, and it was just like a bad dream.
Oh, he's still messing with it. Start over.
I was getting yelled at, and no matter what, I was trying so hard, and my fingers were sweating because I was nervous. So, it was a bad experience, but eventually I got it on there. So,
Putting a whistle on a ring. It's a simple task, but stress and high heart rate rapidly impairs fine motor skills. That's why he struggled. It's also why we drill firearms over and over against a timer and use force-on-force drills to practice fine motor skills in environments that simulate the pressures of real-world scenarios. And that's just a great illustration of it during a simple task. Part of equipment issue is to see what happens when something goes wrong. We're watching how they respond under pressure. Do they panic? Do they make excuses? Or do they take ownership, communicate, and work towards a solution? Those reactions tell us a lot about the type of recruit they are.
Look at this. No, leave that on. No, that's beautiful. That's great. That is.
Would one guess that maybe it's a mistake that the tag's still on her glasses?
Sir, yes.
Then why are you still on her glasses?
Sir, no excuse.
Fix the mistake!
Sir, yes, sir.
Sir, I messed up, sir.
Aye!
Sir, this is
What is this? Anymore. Point this. What's this? What's that?
my shooting glasses,
No,
sir.
that's an I. Recruit. I. Recruit. I. Recruit.
And this is not entirely about equipment. It's about developing habits, accountability, discipline, and integrity. If recruits build those habits now, they'll carry them throughout their careers.
How hard is it to find a whistle? Are you kidding me? You know what a whistle looks like?
Every piece of equipment they carry exists because at some point a trooper before them needed it. Every policy was written because someone learned a lesson the hard way. We want our recruits to learn those lessons here at the academy, not during a critical incident on the side of the highway.
Equipment issue day was very stressful. My bag gets dumped and it's a little bit frustrating because all my equipment's spread out. So now I've got to try to pick up my equipment, find my equipment, while instructors are then coming and yelling in your face. This is causing stress, to create that stress inoculation for us to get used to for this career. It's super difficult to work under that pressure, but we just have to keep pushing through it, and it's stressful. It's the stress inoculation definitely hits hard, given that's our first full day of the academy. It's a lot. I mean, they have to do this to get us ready for the road because we're going to be splitting our attention multiple different ways, and the stress between whether we're having to chase a suspect or, in a pursuit or just any daily tasks, we're going to be splitting our attention or dealing with crises and severe situations that we're going to have to stay calm and work through. When we go back to looking for things that we either don't know what it is or don't know if it's even in the bag, and trying to find it. It's difficult, but we have to get through that because it's part of this.
You're looking for hand sanitizer? Let's see. Is that it? Right. You don't have it.
Our goal isn't to make training harder than it needs to be. Our goal is to make the job safer. The stress they experience here is temporary, but the habits they develop here can protect them and the people we serve for an entire career.
The fact that I told you you're only halfway finished and you're sitting here motionless doesn't make sense to me! I thought this was easy! I thought this was easy! You just got passed! You just got passed! Tell me again how it's easy! It's easy. Keep moving! Leo, figure it out! Go! 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 Go!
You got 10 minutes to beach out.
You got 9 minutes. Hurry up. Oh. Clean yourselves. Get dressed. Don't forget deodorant. Some of you are kind of gamey. That means your teeth. Brush your teeth. Hurry up. Hurry up.
There's fingernails in here.
No!
Yeah!
How dare they put fingernails in the trash can?
The biggest thing that we look for when we do room inspections is attention to detail.
Disgusting.
We give them a guidebook that explains everything on how their rooms are supposed to look, how their rooms are supposed to be for inspection order, and can they just follow those simple instructions. For example, during room inspection hours, their trash cans need to be emptied.
Whoa!
Dust needs to be non-existent, and the spacing of their wardrobe hangers needs to be 2 finger widths apart.
Whoa! Holy! Look at that space.
I haven't even looked up there. Do you have big knuckles? You got big fingers?
Good Lord, I could drive a truck through there.
I measured, according to the recruit guidebook, it is 2 fingers, starting from the left. No empty hangers in there.
2 fingers here, 2 fingers there, 2 fingers from the outside.
They're going to be given instructions throughout their entire career, and they're going to be able to follow simple things as how to fold the towel properly and how to face it the right way. If they can't follow that, well, they may have difficulty following other instructions, other policy.
What do I do if it's like lipped out a little bit?
I, again, try to make it as flat and as even as possible.
I was never in the military, and I didn't know how to do the proper folds for things. We were helping each other. I don't have a roommate since I'm the only girl. So all these other boys had a roommate and they'd do their own beds. I had 2 beds that were thrown.
I just fold it the way it's supposed to be folded and then just pick it up like that. Almost like it's a bomb.
Whenever I was in the military, I did nuclear weapon security. One of the things that we had was like the hero stickers on our radios, which pretty much said, if you're within a certain radius of a bomb, like don't try to keep up your radio and everything like that, especially working around nuclear weapons. I mean, bombs, nuclear weapons, don't really mix too well. So when we were folding towels, I was telling them to pick up their towel like a bomb just because, you got to be careful with it and place it on the towel rack. If you don't place it on there correctly and it's messed up, well, it's going to seem like a bomb went off in your room because the instructors are going to come in, flip your beds over, maybe take your beds out into the hallway, throw your towels everywhere, clothes everywhere, and it's not going to be good for you.
When there is a big mess in their rooms, and there's a lot of stuff scattered around with mattresses and chairs and blankets everywhere. And the purpose of that is when they're out on the road, they're going to get called to very complex crashes. There's going to be several car pileups that they're going to have to go to. There's going to be people injured. There's going to be witnesses standing around. There'll be paramedics, fire department. There's going to be a lot of stuff going on at once, and it can be overwhelming. So when they get there, they do have to start sorting through the mess. They have to start applying critical thinking skills. They have to know where to start to be able to progress through that crash. So when we do something like this, they do have to be able to do this. And if this is in a controlled, safe environment up here, we don't have to worry about the scene being safe, the scene being secure when they're up here in their rooms.
The ring, come over here.
Look
Come
at
over
all
here.
them waves in
Come
there.
over here. Come over here. Now
I'm
look
getting
at it.
seasick
Look
looking
you see
at
it?
that.
Look at
There's
all
so
the
many
waves.
waves. And that's me, the water guy, saying I'm getting seasick looking at those waves.
That's like red flag. Do not enter.
Is that evenly spaced, Mason? How much space is supposed to be between these?
2 finger joints, sir.
It's 1.
Yeah, they're going to have to worry about crash, about possibly a secondary crash happening, other traffic. And somebody's in a crash, that could be the worst day of their life, and their behavior could be unpredictable at that point. Not only is attention to detail important at a crash scene, but it's also very important at a crime scene.
Hey, you.
Sir, yes, sir.
Look at this.
Don't look into the light. You're not a moth.
Do you see it?
Sir, yes, sir.
What is it?
Sir, lint, sir.
See it? There it is.
Look at your hand.
A critical piece of evidence that may lead to the prosecution of a suspect could be on top of a wardrobe, could be behind a wardrobe. It could be in a spot that does require a lot of effort for them to be able to find that. And they may have to go above and beyond to locate that piece of evidence. That's why we search these areas in a room. We check to see, are they going to go that extra mile to find that dirt, to find that dust? It may seem insignificant, but as I said, that could be an area on a crime scene where they could locate a very crucial piece of evidence. And they have to have a sense of urgency. We can't just take our time at a crash. We don't have to rush through it. We still have to do a good job, but is the roadway going to be blocked? If an interstate is shut down, even if it's only shut down for just, minutes, that traffic backs up for several miles, and that's when you do risk those secondary crashes happening.
Like chaos, and you have to stay calm and try and fix the chaos. You're trying to fix all these things and you're so tired because you just did whatever you did for 4 hours and then your room got tossed. You have to go back to class, so you're just trying to quickly pick up everything.
What does your note say?
Sir, we failed pretty much every section here.
Failure is not an option when it comes to use of force.
For this class, we chose to do something a little bit different than we have in previous classes. We wanted to give them an opportunity to exhibit their performance in a scenario-based environment earlier in the academy. So after completing a small portion of the firearms program, their baton, the OC training, Taser training, and a few control techniques, we decided to set up a scenario that will allow them to exhibit those skills.
Stop resisting.
So the drill starts with a subject on a simulated traffic stop, and the recruit is given very limited information. They stop the vehicle for a registration violation, and they need to react to what happens.
All right, traffic stop on that truck right there for registration, expired registration. Okay?
Yeah.
Vehicles just came to a stop.
Okay.
Got it?
Got it.
Any questions?
Sir, no, sir.
All right. And roll!
What? What?
Sir, get on the ground!
Oh, good luck.
Get back.
The recruit is then led into an area where they perform a 500-meter row. This is to simulate an extended foot pursuit. And then they are led into an area where they are given a subject that is exhibiting signs that they want to have an altercation. The recruit is told to use their training that they've had so far and make a decision on which use of force option to use. So the goal of the training is to get them to use an appropriate option, but also be able to understand why they are using that option. And we perform an extensive debrief with them so they can understand which option they chose and why they chose it. And that will help them articulate things in the future based on the constitutional standards for using force. For most situations, we could start with de-escalation. However, we set the scenario up where the most appropriate options would be Taser or OC spray. So week 3 of the academy, The recruits were exposed to oleoresin capsicum, or OC, more commonly known as pepper spray. They were sprayed directly across both eyes to simulate an accidental or an intentional exposure from a suspect. And then they were required to perform certain tasks.
Strobe. All right, we gotta go do a takedown.
There we go. All right, strobe. Strobe, you're rigging eyes.
Hey, Cat.
There, that's a good one. Strobe. There we go. All right, go. Find your guy.
The first test they were required to perform was one of the takedowns that they had learned from the previous weeks. This takedown was chosen by us because it was one of the most effective takedowns that we use to give them an option to control a suspect while being exposed to OC.
Down. Nice. Car calling Jeff City.
Car call Jeff City. I need backup.
Stop. Behind the academy. Behind the academy. Where behind the academy, Sankey?
In the courtyard.
In the courtyard. Get up. Find the gun.
The next portion, we chose to change it a little bit from years past. We gave the recruits a certain area. We told them that their firearm had become dislodged in the struggle and they needed to locate it. What this does is this forces them to open their eyes to be able to fight through the OC and search for visual stimulus to find an object before they can continue. After they locate their firearm, they're presented with a deadly force threat and a non-deadly force threat. They need to address each one appropriately, and then after that, the scenario is over and they may proceed to the rest station.
On the ground.
Good job.
1207, Jeff City, shots fired,
10-4, same location.
10-4.
After completing the engaging both subjects, they are allowed to go to the rinse station where they can start the recovery process, decontamination. And what this does is through this process, they can understand how long it takes to recover from. Also helps them give a good idea of what they need to do to a suspect and help them know how to decontaminate a suspect after exposing them to OC.
It was definitely bad. It wasn't great.
It didn't even hurt, did it, Evan?
It's an after effect. It hurts while you're doing it, and then you come over here and it just doesn't go away. It's been 20 minutes and it still just feels like my face is on fire. It feels like the worst sunburn I've ever had in my life, times 1,000.
A lot of people don't understand sometimes why we expose new officers to this. It is extremely painful. However, the risk of injury is extremely low.
Some more water, please.
More water? Okay. I want to make sure you're doing okay now, okay?
So we want the recruits to have a good understanding of the fact that, yes, it does hurt, but clearly they can manage the pain and be able to work through it and accomplish the task. Should they be exposed to this, again, accidentally or intentionally by it being used on them by a suspect.
Since approximately 2017, troopers working the roadway have had a use of force option of having a taser to be able to de-escalate situations. This is the first recruit class that has had the opportunity to voluntarily be exposed so they can experience what the neuromuscular incapacitation, what that feels like, which is the primary function of what tasers are. When conducting the volunteers exposures, we have 2 volunteers that we have come alongside the recruit being tased. They are the spotters. Once the volunteer and the spotters ensure that they are ready, the taser is then deployed and the subject goes down. After the 5 seconds, the spotters get a first-hand experience on removing the probes, which is another skill that they get to experience. Similar to the recruits being exposed by OC, being exposed to the taser is a very beneficial tool.
Put the hammer down.
Because now the recruits know exactly what it feels like, and I believe that down the road they might have less hesitation to utilize one tool over the other. That there's no mystery about what it feels like or even the after effects. They know exactly what they went through and what that person's going to be going through afterwards, that they will not hesitate and go right to that tool if need be.
Not only are the first few weeks hard with equipment issue, being pepper sprayed and tased, but
But we're halfway through the academy, and it still takes its toll physically and mentally. The schedule is very demanding, which makes it hard to find time to accomplish everything. Along with our families, we have sacrificed time together by attending class in the evenings and staying at the academy for multiple weekends. We've lost 3 recruits in the last 2 weeks for different reasons.
Sir, yes, sir.
And there are 13 weeks to go that include more practical and academic tests. I'm hoping the rest of us can make it through to the end.
I get asked all the time why so many recruits are quitting the academy. They're quitting because it's hard both mentally and physically, and they're not prepared.